Senators were judges. One judge had to literally rephrase what I had actually said and change it from a question into a threat. He did this for his friends. He did this for his coworkers. He did this for people that are familiar to him. Just trusted their word, and it turned out their word was completely shit. Change the words mentally disabled to mentally ill, and you have changed the minds of hundreds of thousands of people. Or, such as my case, millions of people, literally. When you change the word mentally disabled to mentally ill, magically, that person goes from being a disabled person with rights to being, well, you try to associate me with Waco, Texas. You try to associate me with serial killers. You try to associate me with child molesters and rapists. I turn them in. I'm the only person who does. Wait, I take that back. Jackie McKenzie does. When Brenda, a child care worker in Alliance, Nebraska, was having sex with Jackie McKenzie, a.k.a. Jackie, what does she go by now? Payne Ballou. This is one of Jerry Sparks' relatives. This is one of Amanda Payne's relatives. She turned Brenda in for having sex with Donnie. Donnie is a grown-ass adult in the United States Air Force now. So, change just one word and it's magically okay. You change the word torture to pain compliance. What are you doing differently? You're calling it something different. It is still literally torture. You are inciting pain on another human being to force a reaction that you there and then pretend is them resisting arrest or them trying to assault an officer. This is what they do to disabled adults who are on the streets, and primarily males, because they know they can get away with doing it to a male. A female pretends that she was victimized because she got busted victimizing somebody. And she just puts on the tears a little bit, and lo and behold, poor her, poor little old her, she couldn't have done anything wrong, especially not a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl like Leslie Snell. She could never possibly threaten, harass, or intimidate somebody who was told to call that office to turn in their predators. When I was told to call her office to turn in Scott DaCosta, I argued with the Nebraska State Patrol on that. You goddamn right I did. Just like I argued in Washington State with dispatch sending me to talk to who? Officer Schneider, who is literally the officer I was trying to turn in. Or then, of course, there's Amanda Jonas, assigned to investigate herself. What did she do instead? She outright lied over and over again. Not like it mattered. My friends who said they'd go in with me never did. They just let it happen. Me and Natalie had a lot of similar friends, and a lot of literally the same friends by name. No wonder she killed herself. No wonder. With friends like that, who needs enemies? With family who, when you go to them for help, they abuse you like her family did to her, or my family did to me. You take advantage for her physically, sexually, financially, anything that you can exploit. That's her family and mine. You can see that with my little brother. His name is Michael Allen Albert. You can see that with my little sister. Her name is Tara Lee Hicks, aka Tara Lee Lawton. You can see that with my mother, Angela K. Wade, aka Angela K. Schwartz, aka Angela K. Hicks, aka Angela K. Rooms. You can see how police not only made a target for these animals, but they looked the other way while these people literally killed my loved ones. Literally pressured me and Natalie both to the point that we were begging for help and begging for people to kill us. Both of us. Not just over abuse from our families, but also how our friends treated us when we went to them for help. Natalie didn't have any friends that she could go to for help. They were all drug addicts, and she was trying to get away from it. But how is she supposed to get away from it when her parents can't stay sober? When her parents are giving her bad advice based on their bad experiences and bad choices. It was not a bad choice for Natalie Bollinger to be friends with me. It was a bad choice for her to slander my name to make those goddamn predators happy. Now she's dead. And like any Jew in the Nazi society, they put her in an oven and incinerated her corpse. You guys should take a look at the photos of her body after her death. You should listen to the recordings that have the officers involved in her case speaking. They outright lied to me and lied to the public. And of course, rather than telling the truth, what do? Gaslighting. That's what they did from day one. And then because I didn't have any friends or family who cared, what did my friends and family want to do? Victimize me for trying to come forward. Give me empty promises. I'm leaving you. Thanks for having me. Be safe.
Will do.
I think I'm at a stupid joke, but I'll bring you some more tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes, ma'am.
Have a good night. Take care.
You too, will do. Alright, it's raining pretty decent out there, and my car leaks like a sieve. So, it's going to be cold and wet. Not likely going to be colder than a cast iron commode on the shady side of an iceberg, but it's definitely going to be cold. Hopefully I'll get some sleep tonight. You change just one word, and of course, all you gotta do is call that person mentally ill. They're not allowed to even show evidence. Many of my predators are female, and they preyed on that. Preyed on the fact that they're females, and they can play for sympathy just by insinuating. Like a lot of women have been taught that when they do something wrong and you tell on them, they're supposed to play like you attacked them. Really? How did I attack you? Oh, I'm attacking your character? No, I'm telling the truth, you dumb cunt. I reserve the word cunt for what in specific? Those of you who have followed along since before Natalie was killed, which is probably nobody, you know that I reserve the word cunt for people who get other people hurt or killed. Natalie Bollinger for assuredly fits that bill. She didn't just try to get herself killed, she tried to get me killed first. Because she didn't care that telling one little lie to save her skin, to make her predators happy. These people who, she was suicidal because why? Because her family, no matter what, these drug addicts who are her relatives would treat her like it's because she's a fucking heroin addict. No matter what, it's always because heroin, 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 heroin. Kind of like my mom, who's severely mentally ill. She likely has Munchausen by proxy. If you don't know what that is, I highly recommend looking it up. Now, my mother, when she does something horrible to you, tells you that you're mentally ill. She does this to all of her kids and to her husband. However, unlike her husband, and of course my little brother Michael, the rest of us aren't dumb bitches. Me and my older brother Eric are the most worldly of the bunch. We're also the most intelligent. The problem is that slander prevents me from being allowed to show my intelligence. Abuse that has deprived me of all of the assets that I needed to defend myself and take care of myself. You want to pretend that any disabled person who doesn't live in a house must be a freeloader. Only people who live in houses can possibly be actually disabled. Only if your family cares about you enough to take care of you when you break your leg did your leg actually break. That's how you guys play it off. Those of you pill poppers in fucking houses that don't know what the fuck is going on, you know what? I tried a lot of them medications growing up. Growing up in the system, those people got nothing better to do than test their drugs out on you. I can tell you from personal experience, between those drugs and pot, I can think better on pot. You know why I don't like being stoned? Why I don't like smoking pot? Because it affects my ability to think. How the hell do you think I'm going to react to being on medications that fuck me up? There's a lady wanting to be a screwball on an advertisement today. I wanted to go at me in some horrible, horrible ways, very sexist ways. So I laid out for her about, 10 or 15 different videos, from the missing women of Hardin, Montana, to the situation with, Scott DeCosta used multiple jurisdictions to try to cover up his crimes and prevent me from turning him in. You see how in over 2 years of trying to turn him and his deputies in, nobody did a goddamn thing. None of these people who claim that they did anything have any proof of it. The ones who claim that they did claim that it'll take an act of God for me to get proof of it. So these people have the right to literally hide their crimes? I don't think so. I don't think so. There is a legal process by which I can obtain those things. It is my right to know. For my predators to be allowed to have access, but I'm not, is abhorrent. For my own public pretenders to deny me access to evidence, to deny me the right to actually have any sort of defense, to repeatedly not show up to court, to overwhelmingly do nothing about ongoing abuse that I repeatedly told them about. I was literally being fucking tortured by law enforcement. And you want to pretend that this does not happen to people. We've got lots of black people being pissed off because many of you want to pretend that that stuff doesn't happen to people. But these black people are only pissed off that it's happened to black people. They don't give a fuck if it happens to a homeless person, even if that homeless person is black. Zayd Atkinson He got abused once. Once. And you go, oh, poor him, he's so good looking. Holy shit. Just like with Natalie Bollinger, it was all about looks. Oh, she's so pretty, she's so pretty, she's so pretty. Oh, poor her, she's such a pretty girl. She was a grown-ass adult who was not held accountable. Why? Because she had a vagina. Because she had a vagina. The same reason that you help many of these other predators get away, including her mother, two stepmothers, Kara Johnson Miles, Cara Rogers. You helped these predators to get away. You helped Waylon Lowittai get away to harm no less than 6 other people in the exact same uniform. You allowed Clearview to literally kill a man doing what I told you they were doing, and you called me crazy. And they killed who? Tibor Hatay. In exactly the way I told you they were doing it to people. When you're in a place like that, they cut you off. They cut you off from calling 911 about the abuse in those facilities. While I was treated like I was crazy, why was Clearview closed down? Literally for doing the things that they did to me and doing them to hundreds of other people. Why was Waylon Lowittai removed from Denver Police Department? Or Denver Sheriff's Department? Because he was assaulting people. So instead of arresting him like they fucking should have, they allowed him to move on to Boulder County, where he assaulted me. And then police refused to do anything about the abuse. Just like they refused with Sammy Leon Lawrence IV, but he had help and he won. Then again, look at Darren O'Connor. Rose to his position of power by pretending to care about the homeless people. Then, out of the 7 people that he assaulted on camera, 7 people that Waylon Lowittai assaulted on camera, the only ones that Darren O'Connor helped with were the ones in houses. The ones who were homeless, he threw under the bus for his own personal gain. Christine Buhit speaks about that. Michelle Rodriguez speaks about that. They change one word. They try to pretend like me trying to turn in the bullying and the harassment and the threats against my life is the same as trying to kill myself. It's fucking not. You know what they do? They lock you up for a maximum of 72 hours and then drop you right back off on the same fucking streets with the same goddamn predators. Except now they want you to jump through a bunch of hoops and give them a bunch of money you don't fucking have. Thank you for being abused. Give us your money, bitch.